Hey everyone, Marty Van Diest here with Valley Market Real Estate right here in Palmer. And tonight I'm going to be talking about the Matsu Borough Special Use Districts. I've been talking about land use regulations in the borough. 2 weeks ago, I talked about regular borough general land use regulations, and those had to do with setbacks and the size of a lot and that sort of thing, rights of way. Some things are important to look at. And then last week I talked about private land use regulations. Those have to do with covenants and easements and deed restrictions and that sort of thing. They You need to know about all of that stuff if you're going to buy some property in the Matsu Borough. Today we're going to talk about spuds. Not the kind of spud that you plant in your garden here. You should be planting in a couple months, I suppose. Actually, we're going to talk about special land use districts. Special land use districts are a way for a community or an area to say, hey, we want to have even more strict guidelines on our land than the borough has, because it's always the strictest one that will uh, come into play. So if you want something that's even stronger than what the borough has, if you want stricter regulations, you might form a special land use district. Your community council might want to do this. And that's generally the way they start. A community council gets together and says, hey, uh, we don't like the fact that uh, they're having dog teams in our area, so we want to restrict against dog teams. Or you might be like the Kinnick dog team area, and they say, we don't like the way they're restricting dog teams, and so we want a special land use area that says you can't do that. And so you're going to have that. I'll show you that here in a bit. There are quite a few different ones, and where you find those is in Title 17. Let's take a look at Title 17. If you go on the borough website, you will find a link to code publishing, and you'll see the Matanuska Borough Code, Title 17. These all live in Title 17. You can scroll through here, and if we scroll enough, you're going to see, look at that, Denali Park Special Land Use District. There's one that was repealed. Here's Chickaloon Special Land Use District. Glacier View. Look at that one. Kinnick Dog Sled and Recreation Special Land Use District. You can click on these and read through them. They'll tell you exactly what it is. Look at this. This says, in the face of increased expansion and population growth in the historic Kinnick community in southern Kinnick area, the Kinnick Sled Dog and Special Land Use District, Kinnick District, seeks to preserve and protect the existing community and homestead lifestyle and provide for planned and orderly growth of the Kinnick area. So there you go. You can read through these and see what they do, what they'll permit you to do, what you'll have conditional uses, what things are permitted or prohibited. It says the keeping of sled dogs on parcels or contiguous parcels that are not occupied by the dog's owners or caretakers is prohibited. Looks like that's the only thing that's prohibited. And then you can go to other development standards, trails and rights of way. Those are important if you're a dog musher. So there you go. That's the Kinnick Special Land Use District. You can scroll through and you can find the Chickaloon Special Land Use District, and you can see that it's quite extensive. See there, you've got a lot of different things in here, and you can see what you can do. You have permitted uses, prohibited uses, lot area. This is an important one there, because in Kinnick Special Land Use District, which is a pretty large district, you're only going to be able to subdivide your lot down to 4.75 acres, with a couple of exceptions, but they're all going to be pretty close to 4.75 acres or larger. So you're not going to make any small lots in the Chickaloon District. Going through Title 17, you'll find pretty much all the special land use district. There's one in Sutton. I think then you have the Houston one, Wasilla. I think there's even one for Palmer, maybe at the beginning. I can't remember. Then you have other code issues here if you really want to get into the borough code and see what you can and can't do. Yeah, there's a Palmer Special Land Use District. I'm not sure what that is. But that's where you'll find them. But I want to talk about what they do and what they can't do, and also want to show you another map here. So hold on, let's look at another map. Okay, here we go. Here's another map, a pretty big overview map. You can see this is the Chickaloon Land Use District, Glacier View Special Land Use District, Hay Flats, Kinnick Dog Sled, Point McKenzie Special Land Use District, Nancy Lake Special Land Use District. You can click on these and then go here and you'll find more info. So what is it? It's a special land use district. Right over here it says Spud type. That's where I get the word Spud. And this is the name of the Spud right there. And here you go, more info. And it will take you right to where I was showing you in another place. This is a Nancy Lake one. Tells you when it started. Tells you what you have to do and what you can do and what you can't do and how you can appeal it. But these do restrict what you can and can't do. Sometimes they restrict what kind of animals you can have, if you can have poultry or pigs or anything else. So these are definitely important to check out. These are an overlay, which means it goes over the top of whatever else you have to abide by. You might have covenants in your area, and you think, well, great, I'll be able to raise chickens here on my lot, and then you find out, well, one of the special land use districts say you can't do that. Actually, I don't know any that do. There were some that were in the past that were being. There was one out here in Meadow Lakes that never came to fruition, but I know they were going to restrict what you could do on your lot. It's not there because it was a little bit too restrictive. But you can see the hay flats one. Let's look at the chickaloon one a little bit more. Here you can see the permitted uses, conditional uses, and prohibited uses. Let's just glance at the prohibited uses really quick. Prohibited uses and structures within the chickaloon area, not specified or permitted as conditional uses, including junkyards, salvage yards, and automobile wrecking yards, sanitary landfills, and refuse areas. Okay, so if you have a junkyard, they're going to probably define that somewhere. What is a junkyard? Can you have 2 cars that don't run? Can you have 10 cars that don't run? And then how are these enforced? That's the big issue. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. So I'll scroll through a little bit. There's one that I have up on the screen. There's Trapper Lake, Copper Bench here. Let's take a look at this one, Wolverine Lakefront. Okay, so it's on Wolverine Lake, and you can see that it's right on the lake, beautiful lake. This is, you would, anybody that found this lake would love it. So is it restricted in any way, shape, or form? Yes, it is. It has a few restrictions. Only the borough has restrictions on here, except for one other thing, and I'm going to show you that. This is why you need to really look into these things, and hopefully you use somebody who's been dealing with this kind of stuff and gives you some idea where you're at. So this lot is about right here. Where in the world is that lot? It's kind of on an extension of Wolverine Lake. Let's take a look at the borough map, the one that has the all these land use areas, and there's Wolverine Lake. You see that? This is a special land use district here, and it's not in a special land use district. It's in the borough, and you can find out some right here. It talks about some of the borough regulations. Look at that. It's got something about new construction there. We should look at that because I don't know if that's in place yet, but I'll have to check it out. But this is on Wolverine Lake. Let's zoom in a little bit, okay? So if we zoom way in, this property is right here. I think it's this one or this one. It's that one. Okay. So it's this property right here, and all this over here is borough land. And Wolverine Lake, this little pond is not concluded. Well, that's fine. But Wolverine Lake has special rules. You can see Lake Management Plan, LMP. So click on that, and you'll see that this is a lake, and it has a management plan. I get to it right here, that we can find out about. It's Wolverine Lake Management Plan. Click right here, and you can see what you can and can't do on Wolverine Lake. Let's see. Here's the summary of it. Oh my goodness. So they've got all the lakes here, but I was just reading on this a little bit ago. You can't do, let's see if we can find Wolverine Lake here. Wolf Lake, Wolverine Lake. Okay, so you can not have personal watercraft. I thought you could. There are quiet hours, electric motors only, and commercial float plane operations prohibited. Okay, gives you a little bit of an idea how big the lake is. 55 acres, depth 7 feet. That's pretty shallow. This lake, I shouldn't tell you, but I'm going to tell you, So there's good fishing in this lake. It's just hard to get access to. But that's going to give you some ideas. So I have land for sale on the lake, a couple of different pieces. And if you want to call me about it, feel free. Let's look at some other stuff up here. Check out this one here. Here's a parcel that I have for sale, and it is up the highway about mile, up the Glen Highway about mile 80. I'm going to say it's about mile 83. Okay. And has a fantastic view, but this is a challenging parcel. You see how steep it is? Very steep. But this is in the Chickaloon land use area. Let's take a look. I'll zoom out here a little bit. It's about right, let's see. There's Fish Lake, so it's farther up. There's Bonnie Lake, and there's Long Lake. It's about right here. That's it, I think. Yeah, it's these two pieces right here that are for sale. Well, maybe it's this piece. Yes, it is. This piece is for sale. And you can find, there's a lot of information you can find out about this kind of stuff. But this is in the Chickaloon land use district. And you need to know what you can and can't do. I think I read a little bit of what you can and can't do in the Chickaloon land use district. And one of the things you can't do is split this lot up into smaller lots. This is a 65-acre lot with a really nice view. And you can zoom in here and you see, it doesn't look like Long Lake has a lake management plan, but Bonnie Lake does, Upper Bonnie Lake, and also Bonnie Lake and Ravine Lake. These guys are all good fishing too. I used to love to fish in Ravine Lake. That's where Jim Brown taught me how to fly fish, or at least showed me how to fly fish. I'm not sure I did that time. There's rainbows in there, grayling up in here. All right, so I want to take a look at a little bit more here. Okay, just as an example, let's take a look at one more lot. Actually, I'm going to take a look at that one too. Let's look at this one on Green Jade. This lot on Green Jade, it's 1 acre lot right behind, if you're familiar with where Kepler Bradley Lake is, it's right behind there. It's actually walking distance to Canoe Lake, which is also good fishing, by the way. And it's for sale, but it has some restrictions as well. Take a look. Here they are. Number one, you've got a plat. You should look at the plat on every one of your places that you buy, and take a look and see what it says. Look what this one says. It's hard to read. I can get a better copy, but it says no individual water supply system or sewage disposal system shall be permitted on any lot unless such system is located, and it goes on. Then it talks about where some easements are and just a few other things that are on that plat. But you should look at the plat, and you're going to see easements on here. See that? You can see a utility easement right across the front. Those are important. This was a lot right here that I was just talking about. That one's for sale. But I'm going to show you something else on here. These have covenants. Declaration of covenants for 4 song acres. So you need to read through the covenants. Now, these are private restrictions. Then you need to go on the borough's website and say, hey, does this have a spud or not? So we go here, zoom way out, go zoom back in and find it. And you'll see that there's a Canoe Lake subdivision that apparently has got some type of a, I'm not sure if that's a special use district or not, but we should. Let's take a look at that. But this lot is right here. And this lot does not have anything else on it other than the borough regulations. So it's private, 4 song acres. You can see information about it right here. Let's take a look at the Canoe Lake. So Canoe Lake subdivision, it doesn't say anything about a special land use district, so I don't think it is. You go over here and you see that the state has all this land. This is private land here. Private land here. Here is a gravel pit. But you can zoom here and you don't see that it's not in any type of a special land use district. You go over here and you do find one. It's just important to know where these are. This is a Hay Flats special land use district. Got special rules out there. So there you go. I hope that helps a little bit. And if you still are left with questions, and you probably are, it gets complicated. I'm not sure how well I explain things. But if you want to find out about a particular lot, particular property, just give me a call, 907-232-7900, or go on our website, even better, valleymarket.com. Click on team, and you can call anybody there. Every one of them will help you out. If I'm not available, somebody's available. Just go through the list. You'll see them all there. Click on their face, and their info will come up. All right. If you have anything else you want us to discuss, or if you have any particular questions, let me know, and I'll make sure and answer them. Talk to you later.